The next update is already around the corner, and this one is going to be huge. We're not just getting balance tweaks or small fixes this time, we're actually getting full-on reworks for two of the most popular styles in the entire game, NEL Rin and NEL Isagi. And I know, I've been repeating this in pretty much every video lately, but that's only because these two have been sitting in this weird, half-broken state for way too long. It feels like every patch note cycle we get promise changes. Things get written down. Sometimes they even announce them in the dev Discord, but then when the patch actually hits, something's missing, or something's bugged, or something gets replaced with the wrong move. It's been frustrating, but now, finally, it looks like the devs are ready to deliver the full reworks, not just half measures. But before we go further, I just wanted to remind you that if you are interested in my content, please don't hesitate to like this video, and of course, subscribe to my channel. It's honestly giving me a lot of motivation and energy to upload even more daily videos. Just for you guys, so thank you in advance. Let's get back to the main topic. Let's talk about Rin first, because his situation is probably the most obvious. If you've been following along, you'll know that for a long time, the devs have been saying they want to remove his domain and give him back his OG curve shot. It's something people have been asking for forever. It was even written down in the patch notes for the last update. But when the patch dropped, nothing changed. His domain was still there, his OG curve shot was nowhere to be found, and Rin mains were left wondering if they'd been forgotten again. It's gotten to the point where I've lost count of how many times I've mentioned in these videos that Rin is supposed to have his OG curve shot back. It feels like a running joke at this point. But now, with this upcoming update, the devs have specifically said that Rin is finally going to get his real rework. And I don't just mean a numbers tweak or a bug fix. I mean a full kit adjustment with proper animations, with balance that actually makes sense, and hopefully without no-skill spammy moves. Because right now, Rin feels half-finished. He's supposed to be one of the coolest curve shot players in the entire franchise. And yet in Rivals, his domain just feels clunky and unfun. It doesn't fit him, it doesn't match the hype of his character, and it's long overdue for a change. The thing Rin is missing most right now isn't even just the move itself, it's the way it feels. The animations are outdated, the flow doesn't make sense, and there's no identity. That's why I keep saying in these videos, if the devs are going to rework him, they can't just swap out domain for OG curve shot and call it a day. They need to go deeper. They need to refresh his animations, make his dribble move smoother, and give him that aggressive, sharp edge that makes Rin so iconic. A simple swap won't fix him, but a proper rework will. And I think that's what we're finally about to get. Now let's talk about Isagi, because his situation is just as bad, if not worse. In the last update, the devs removed his dash. And yeah, I know I've said this about 10 times already, but I'll say it again. His dash was basically the only useful thing in his kit. It wasn't perfect, but it gave him some mobility, it gave him some relevance. And instead of keeping it, they removed it and replaced it with lefty shoot. And lefty shoot, as everyone knows by now, is completely bugged. It doesn't trigger half the time, it feels awkward, and when it does work, it doesn't even feel like a proper signature move. It was such a weird decision, and it left Isagi feeling worse than ever. Now, you could argue that they did it because they knew a rework was coming, and they didn't want him to have a move that even the devs themselves were calling the dumbest dash in the game. But the replacement didn't make sense either. Lefty shoot just isn't ready. It's buggy, inconsistent, and honestly just makes him feel broken in a bad way. And that's why I keep saying, the animations are the real problem. If you're going to rework Isagi, you can't just give him a different shot and call it balance. He needs proper animations, he needs smoother flow, and he needs moves that actually fit his character. Right now, he feels like a mess, and that's what makes this upcoming update so important. Because this time, it's not just a balance week. This is supposed to be 2 full reworks back-to-back in the same patch. That means the devs have a chance to actually fix the mess they created in the last update and give both Rin and Isagi the justice they deserve. And if they do it right, this could be one of the best updates the game has ever had. Think about it. Rin finally getting not only his OG curve shot with proper animations and balance. Isagi finally getting rid of his broken and bugged lefty shoot and instead getting a moveset that highlights his vision, his passing, his ability to read the game. If the devs really put in the work, we could see two of the most popular characters in the game go from being disappointments to being top-tier styles again. And not in a broken, overpowered way, but in a way that actually feels skill-based and rewarding to play. That's what this game needs. I've been saying this for months. Like, the biggest issue with Rivals isn't that certain styles are too strong, it's that they're strong in ways that don't feel fair. NEL Nagi is the perfect example. His auto-steal is broken because it does the defender's job better than defenders themselves. Rin's domain was broken not because it was too strong, but because it felt clunky and unfun. It's basically an auto-steal. Isagi's dash wasn't overpowered, but it was ugly and badly animated. The problem is never just numbers, it's always the way these moves feel and the way they break the flow of the game. That's why reworks matter more than simple nerfs or buffs. And that's why this update is such a big deal. Now, I don't want to get too carried away with hype, because we've been burned before. We've seen promises that didn't get delivered. We've seen patch notes that didn't actually reflect what happened in-game. But the signs are good this time. The devs have been talking openly in the Discord about these changes. They've acknowledged that both Rin and Isagi are in a bad place right now. They've admitted that the last changes didn't really work. And they've set expectations by saying these are full reworks, not just band-aid fixes. That gives me hope. So what should we actually expect? For Rin, I think the absolute minimum is removing domain and adding back OG curve shot. But beyond that, I think they'll refresh his dribble animations, maybe even his awakening, to give him that sharp, aggressive playstyle he deserves. For Isagi, I think we'll see lefty shoot either fixed properly or replaced with something entirely different, hopefully a pass move or a dribble that fits his identity better. And I really hope his awakening gets cleaned up too, because right now it doesn't feel impactful at all. If both of them get proper animations, proper balance, and proper flow, then this update could completely change the meta. The timing also makes sense. We just had a massive balance patch that touched almost every style, from Lorenzo getting a steal on his zombie dribble, to Kunigami's body block being spammable, to Kaiser's impact getting a buff, to Sei basically being redefined with his new curve shot. That patch was about bringing everyone closer to balance. This patch is about fixing the two styles that still stand out as broken in the wrong way. It's like the devs are going step by step, cleaning up the game one patch at a time, and honestly, it's about time. Because Rin and Isagi aren't just random styles, they're two of the faces of the entire franchise. People pick them because they're iconic, because they're popular, because they want to play as their favorites. And when those favorites feel terrible in-game, it drags down the whole experience. Fixing them isn't just about balance, it's about making the game fun for the people who love these characters. So yeah, I'm cautiously optimistic. We've been promised this before, but I think this time the devs know they can't mess it up. Everyone's watching, everyone's waiting, and if they deliver, it's going to be huge. What do you guys think? Are you excited for Rin finally getting his OG curve shot? Do you think Isagi's rework will finally make him fun to play again? And what kind of animations or moves would you want to see added to their kits? Drop your thoughts in the comments, because this could be one of the most important updates the game has ever had, and I want to hear what you're hoping for. Thanks for watching, and as always, if you enjoyed this breakdown, don't forget to leave a like. It really helps the channel grow and keeps me motivated to cover every single update in Blue Lock Rivals.